What's up, guys? The grading side of things in the sports card world is kind of in shambles at the moment. PSA has halted the majority of their lower end grading after already increasing the prices to the point where, after being a longtime member, I finally canceled my membership, and I wasn't even sending anything in prior to canceling it for quite some time, since they raised their prices twice at the end of last year. I have a pile here, pretty large pile, 100 cards or so, that was just waiting for a special, and I think I waited and waited and waited, nothing, and then they raised their prices. Not only did they not have a special, they raised their prices, and then they shut down. So, it's really hard to justify paying, I don't know, let's just call it $30 a card all in, shipping, insurance, supplies, your time, everything, and then waiting infinite time for it to get back. It just, unless you're getting a 10 that is worth X amount, whatever. I mean, and then they upcharge you. So if you go too high, they upcharge you. And if you're sending in a $100 card, maybe raw you can get 40, an 8 you get 20, a 9 you get 60, and a 10 you get 100. I mean, I'm just throwing stupid numbers out there, but it's changed my mindset to the point where I'm either not grading, or I was going to start looking at SGC and BGS. I'm not a big fan of Tag. It's great what they're trying to do, but I've seen these companies come and go, and ultimately what happens is either they get big enough, PSA buys them out anyway, hence SGC and BGS, or they go away eventually, or they just maintain and they do their thing, but the resale value never gets to a point that would make most people that are looking to maximize any kind of profits to send in with these other companies. So SGC in my mind has always been number two. I have a ton of vintage in SGC slabs. I really like the slabs. I do wish some of the modern would catch up in pricing. They did crazily change their return time to 40 or 50 days, business days. This actually took longer than that. I don't know exactly, but I'm going to say 60 business days, roughly. It took a long time, and that's long for SGC. I know it's owned by the same company, but their prices are cheaper. $15 a grade of card. They don't upcharge you unless it hits like $1,500 or something. So the problem is trying to figure out the math, and I sent some cards in here in this submission that I probably would have not sent prior to PSA raising their prices and everything. But if you're looking at, let's just call it $15 a card difference, well, that kind of takes away from some of the resale value that you have to recoup. So now if a card's selling for 100 and only 80 in an SGC slab, now you're only talking about like $5 or something. Once you cover the fees and that, and plus you get your stuff back a little quicker. And plus, really, it's your only option right now. Not your only option, but some of these other companies are your only options for these lower value cards. So there's nothing super high end in here. There is 28 cards, and I did see the grades because I was very curious. I've been waiting forever, and it seems like forever. I know the PSA is longer, but and I guessed every one of these grades, which sometimes I don't do. Sometimes I just guess a few. I guessed every single one of these before they went, and I put my guess on the right, and then the grade that it got on the left. So I'm going to go through them and show you guys. I actually was pretty dead on. Not dead on, but pretty good with this. Now PSA, I'm always, it's seemingly half the cards, I'm usually a grade lower with my guess. I mean, a grade higher with my guess, and I get a grade lower. Doesn't seem to be the case with this batch, except for a card or two. But anyway, nonetheless, let's go through them. Interesting way to pack. They put one box and then they put the rest in here. Usually they'll do that with ones that aren't slab, but I think there's only they slabbed them all. There might be, is there one that they didn't slab? No, I think they slabbed them all. There's two authentics. Let me get this out of here. going through my massive collection and sorting and downsizing, moving stuff, listing on eBay, player sorting, and just going through stuff. So a lot of times I come up with these random inserts, some popular stuff from like the 90s, which there's a few of these that are in here. I'll show those first actually, since they're right here. And I kind of try to do my research on them as far as PSA or SGC. Seemingly, I think with these kind of cards, it doesn't really matter. The people that collect these or put the sets together or whatever. Now you have the PSA set registry, which does throw things off sometimes. Sometimes people are willing to re-slab them, and sometimes people don't care, and sometimes people collect SGC or they're just buying the card. So it doesn't matter all the time, but I try to do a little research before I picked what I was going to send. I didn't send any Otanis, which I got a pile of over here, because the resale price is massively different. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. So anyway, all right, let's get to it. So this is one of those inserts I was referring to. This is from 93 Donruss. It's the Elite Series. Now they were serial numbered to 10,000. It seems like obviously a large number in this day and age with serial numbers. It is a large number. Not in comparison to how many they printed. And good luck trying to pull one of these if you buy a case or multiple boxes of the 93 Donruss baseball, which the prices are a little higher than you would think for junk wax stuff because of this insert for the most part. They are numbered there on the back to 10,000, and this is Edgar Martinez, and it got a 6, but again, it was worth, I think, getting slabbed. But let's see what I did guess on this one. I guessed an 8, so I didn't miss on this one, and I just said that I didn't do that a lot. There's only a few that I was over guessing on. So I imagine the foil on this is probably why it got a 6, because I mean, like a quick look at it, it's pretty solid for a 6. There's got to be, I mean, it looks, you guys can see it. It looks pretty good there. So I'm gonna pull it over here and look, but it's probably something on the surface would be my guess, because the corners aren't that bad enough to be a 6. So my guess is there's either like a slight scratch or something. I mean, it's still, I'm looking at it, but I do trust them overall, because most of these grades were pretty accurate, honestly. So there must clearly, there's this one and one other one that I got a 6 on that clearly has to have something wrong. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it might be the bottom left. It might be bent a little bit, which would be interesting. But yeah, it looks like possibly this bottom left here corner might be bent a little bit. But anyway, all right, so that's a cool little insert. And there's another one here. Yeah, that's weird. So this one is in a some of these are in team bag graded card sleeves, and some aren't. I don't know the process behind that, but so this one got a 9. It's Drayback. I guessed a 9, and it got a 9. So this is 91 Donruss Elite Series, also numbered out of 10,000. So this one was a couple years before. It might have been the first time they did it. I honestly can't remember, but I think it was 91. So you can see large serial number there. But again, they printed 9 gazillion boxes of Donruss. So good luck pulling these things. This is Drayback, and it got a 9. It's a pretty nice card. So I shouldn't have any problem moving that. That's what I guessed on. I didn't guess any 10s, but you can see here on the right side, I guessed 9, and I wrote over here what it got with a 9. So pretty cool. All right, so this one's interesting. I've done this plenty of times with SGC. They are willing to slab cards that PSA does not slab. Typically they'll put authentic on them, which is the case for this 89 score Barry Sanders rookie here, and they did slab it authentic, and it's a really nice card. However, it was in a PSA PSA holder that they said they would not slab, and it was recolored. So I think one of the corners, I can't remember which one, somebody took a marker, a green Sharpie that's similar color to the background here, and they touched up a white spot. So basically, yeah, it actually says color added, authentic and color added. So basically, PSA, you know, says that, and SGC agrees with them, but SGC will still put it in a slab and say it is authentic, but somebody messed with it. So I kind of like that because now it's in a slab and everybody knows it's real. It just, and they can tell what's wrong with it. So I sent 5 cards in that PSA did not grade, and that was one of them. Let's skip. Maybe we can't skip. This next one, PSA also did not grade. They said the size was wrong on this one. SGC graded it a 6. So they have standards. It's not that anybody would trim an Adrian Dantley Fleer sticker card, but when they were printing these cards back in '86, sometimes they would come off, you know, off the printer slightly different. It happened with Jeter SP cards, 93 SPs, and a lot of different cards from the era where if you put it next to another card, it doesn't stand and measure exactly. But they slabbed this one and gave it a 6, so it must meet their standards, which is why I sent it to them, because PSA didn't slab it. I did not guess on this one. I just wrote PSA size, so I have no idea. But I'll take a 6 because I have sets of these, and that one will go right in there. Adrian Dantley from Jordan's rookie year on the sticker set. This one also, this one PSA said was a miscut, so they did not slab it. They called it a miscut. They did not grade it, and they didn't do anything. And now we got a 6.5. Larry Sherry, and this is high number from 67 Tops on the Larry Sherry. If you watch some of my other reveal videos, I think this card's in there because a couple of them PSA did grade, and this one they called a miscut. Now, typically a miscut's going to be a lot worse than this. It's pretty hard to call this a miscut. Off center maybe, but I didn't understand why they did it, which is why I sent it to SGC, and now it's in a 6.5 slab. There's 2 more of those that I wanted to do first. They're down here somewhere. Okay. All right, there's 2 more that PSA did not slab. These were both size requirements, both from '86 Fleer base set with the Jordan rookie year. They did do the same thing PSA did here, except they put it in a slab and put it authentic for me. Minimum size and not met. So this card does not stack up with the other ones. And this is a Herb Williams 86-87 Fleer number 125. Pretty nice card, probably an 8, maybe a 7 with those white corners, but pretty decently centered and a nice card for that set. And now it's in an authentic slab at least. This one, oddly enough, PSA said the same thing. Didn't stack up size-wise, same as that Herb Williams, but for whatever reason, SGC said, oh, that's an 8. I don't know the difference now. You know, as far as size, I can't really measure them. In this, I guess I could with a ruler. Excuse me, but PSA said the same thing on both of these cards. SGC said it on one and gave me an 8 on the other. That's the problem with grading, is it's I don't know, it's an opinion-based industry, and it's just the way it is. But an 8's a pretty good one. And there's a white dot up here, and like I said, the size might be a little off, but it's slab now and it's an 8, and it must not be as small as the Herb Williams. All right, that's it for the PSA, the 5 that I had from PSA. This one I nailed dead on. My favorite baseball player of all time, and I have a ton of this card graded and some raw. I even have an autograph one. This is the 1980 Topps Ricky Henderson rookie. I guessed a 6. It got a 6, which is why I sent it to PSA or to SGC. I think if you get higher grades, you're going to need PSA probably, but considering the condition on this one, it was worth getting slabbed in a 6 and getting it back. So a little off center, and you know, as with always with this card, a little bit of softish corners, I guess. But a nice Ricky, and dead on the grade 6.6. All right, this one is 1980 Topps. I sent a few of these in from a set that I had. Really clean set, and I put 8+ on my guess, and that's an 8+. 8.5 on the Jack Lambert All Pro card. Nice clean card. Didn't quite get to a 9, but it is a very nice card on a legend of a player there from Pittsburgh. Lambert got an 8.5. There's the back. Pretty clean card, so happy with that. You can probably see my reflection in some of the cards. I just got in from an 80-degree cleaning up the pool and cutting the grass and pulling weeds, so I am shirtless back here, and you can probably see the reflection on some of them. All right, this one I missed by a little bit. I also put 8+. That was from the same set, and it only got a 6. So clearly, there is something wrong with this Otis Anderson rookie, 1980 Topps. Otis Anderson rookie, card number 170, and they said it's a 6. So I think there's a little dimple right there that may have affected it. I had 8+, same as the Lambert. You can see it's dead centered. There's a little bit of a mark there and a little dimple there. That's off center on the back. That could have been something to do with it too. A little bit off center on the back. So nonetheless, 6 is kind of low, but again, I only had, I think, maybe 3 that I was off on. This one I wanted to see in person. I sent 2 of these in. Obviously a low end card, looking for a 10. I guess 9s on both of them. Obviously one came back a 9 and one came back a 6. Don't know what happened. This card usually is pretty flimsy. Those 90 upper decks are not the greatest cardboard, but I mean, when you get a 6, typically you're looking at like a wrinkle or something that you missed, a ding. So the 9 is fine, and here's the 6. I'm not sure because it's clearly not worth anything in a 6. It's already like a $5 card. But 10s would have been nice. Out of this whole batch I sent in, this is probably the only ones, and the Drebeck maybe, that I really thought had a chance at a 10. But a 6 is no bueno. Tad bit off center, top to bottom, now that I'm looking at it. But I don't, let's see what I missed. Surface stuff maybe. Maybe there's a little edge issue on that one. Nonetheless, something wrong there. I said 5 to 6 on this one. 5 to 6 was my guess, and we were on the low end of that. 74 Topps Johnny Bench, top to bottom, off center. I was doing a lot of my 74 sets. Just sold one on eBay. Have another one listed. I think it's missing 1 card, maybe. And I have a couple for myself, and then I have a lot of extra star cards and commons that I was looking through to get graded, and bench is worth it if you get at least a 5 or a 6. It's worth getting graded. So it was close to a 6, but a little off center, a little rough, and pretty much what I expected on that one. This one I guess could have got a 10. I put 9 as my guess. I never guess 10s, honestly. I mean, maybe I'll put 9 to 10, but I put 9 on this one. And believe it or not, it's kind of a tough card. I'd like to see the pop report on this Emmitt Smith 90 Pro Set rookie. It's a nice card. There's a gazillion of them out there, but it is kind of hard to get a 10. You get a lot of white with that flimsy cardboard, and people were just tossing these things around back then. So there's a lot of white edging and stuff on this one, but excuse me, allergies are acting up a little bit too because I was outside. But not too bad. Just a couple that I thought had a chance at a 10 didn't quite get there, and that's fine. These 2 are fun. You guys will like these ones. I guess 7 and 7. So I guess if we split the difference, I was right. 6 and 8. These are the original Air card. Always popular. Everybody wants one of these in their PC. I have some raw. Actually, these might have been the raw that I sent in. Had some raw, have some SGC, have some PSA. But I'll have to look at this a little closer and see what got 6. Again, it's in a graded sleeve for the 6 and not in one for the 8. Not a single clue as to what the purpose is behind that. I do see a top left corner. I guess 7's on both of them, so I guess I got to be happy with an average of a 7 and got an 8 on one. So these things sell anyway. everybody wants one, so the 6 will definitely be for sale, and the 8 I'll have to see. I think I have a couple 9s on my PC, so I'll probably sell the 8 as well. Popular card, and it's in like 5 different versions, but that's the one everybody wants. This was a cool insert I found, like those Drabeck and Edgar Martinez refractors from the early years of Finest, no matter what sport, are pretty popular. Hockey's not the #1 selling sport, but there's a ton of people that collect it, especially in Canada and other countries. And here too, but just it's probably the lowest of the 4 main sports, just like it is when you watch them. But nonetheless, it's Pavel Bure refractor from '94, Topps Finest Hockey. It got a 9 and I guessed 8. So obviously happy with that one. We're 1 grade higher. You never know with these because they have like a surface film on them. This doesn't have the peel on it. Can't remember if it did or not when I sent it. I don't think they would take it off. So I think I took it off. It's a tad off center. But cannot be mad with a 9 when I guess an 8. So we hit on that one. That'll be an easy one to move. Old school one here, very low grade. Let's see what I guessed on this one. I guessed a 1. 1961 Fleer Bill Russell, I put 1 down. It got a 1.5. Oh, that's because it is completely creased and I was just getting it slabbed. It is literally bent in half in the middle. So for them to give it the extra half is pretty cool. I guess there's a crease here and a crease there, but other than that, it's not like the whole thing is shot. So I guess maybe that's why they said it's not quite a 1, but I'll take it. It's a 61 Bill Russell, takes to the air card there, so popular one. Another one from the 74, like that bench. I said 5 to 6. 5 to 6 on the McCovey, just like I did on the bench, and we were way higher than that at a 7. So 2 grades higher than my estimate and 1 grade higher than the higher one. There's a little dimple here, but it's pretty centered. The corners aren't too bad. A little bit off center on the back. It's a little better than that Johnny bench, and obviously 2 grades better. So, I think I wasn't sure about this either, if they would dock it for that mark on the San Diego thing. So a nice McCovey 74 Topps SGC 7. All right, the next batch I bought on Facebook. I don't typically do this. A guy had a large batch of '88 Fleer basketball with some Jordans in it. There was 1 Jordan insert. Can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I have it somewhere else now in this pile of PSA cards. Excuse me. And then there were a bunch of the '88 Fleer Jordans, the base card and the All-Star sticker. And I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I did guess some grades. They look pretty clean, but quite honestly, after doing some research, I thought, I guess there's a chance they could be fake cards. I could have got scammed because I usually don't buy on Facebook. You never know what you're getting into. But we did all right, and thanks to the guy that sold them to me. And I have a pile of nice, clean base cards here, and all the other rookies and stars. I wanted to see what the Jordans did first, and then I have pretty much everything else. So I sell these all the time. I do get a lot of them graded. Unfortunately now, kind of see if it's going to be worth it to grade them SGC. I graded 3 of the 4 All-Star cards. And we can go right in order here. 5.5, 6, 6.5. On the All-Star cards, I guessed 7. No, what did I guess? Card number 120. I guess 7s across the board. So we didn't get there. 5.5 is disappointing, but clearly off center. This is a tough card. 5.5 is a little disappointing, but these aren't too bad. 6 and 6.5, I guess 7s. I mean, I can't be too upset at that. Again, it's a harder card to get in a higher grade. Almost all of them are off center. This being the furthest left. These ones a little bit still. You can see on the back, same thing. And then, I guess beyond the centering, there's still some edge issues and other stuff. But happy to get them slabbed and a nice card, and you can never go wrong with Jordans. Just wish I would have got a little bit higher. We had all 7s on them. We didn't get any 7s, so we kind of did miss, I suppose, on those. There was also 3 regular Jordans, more valuable card number 120. I guess 7s on all of these as well. I'm sorry, card number 17. 120 was the All-Star. I guess 7s on all of these. Now this is where we did good. So these came from the same collector, same collection, same set. I guess 7s across the board on the All-Stars and the base, and we crushed on the base. Did not do super well on the All-Stars, but 1 7 and 2 8s on the base card, which is awesome. So I am super happy about that. These sell pretty well even in SGC. They tend to get a little yellow around the borders this year, so I thought that might affect some of them. But these are pretty clean Jordans. 8, 8, 7, really nice card. This is his 3rd year card, and it's a set that everybody likes to put together. The first 3 years of Flair basketball, actually I guess beyond that, but kind of gets a little junky era after that. But they're only 132 card sets, and they're nice. People like to put them together graded, especially for the PSA set registry. But yeah, so those, I got tons of that card, raw, graded, in my sets. I have multiple sets, so I'll have to see what I have before I figure out. I never am in any rush to move Jordans. I got a large Jordan collection, and I don't really move the good ones, the higher grade ones, that fast. We kind of did well on this one. I guess 9, it got a 9. It looked so clean to me, and I'm glad that they agreed, because I mean, quite honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if this got a 10 either. Gorgeous card from 82 Tops. It was in a binder set that I had, and I replaced it with another mint Montana that I didn't think was quite a 9 because I wanted to send this one in. Tad off center on the back, but really a gorgeous card and pretty much perfect on the front. So that's the in-action card from 82 Tops, which is Montana's 2nd year in a 9. So pretty nice one there. Another one from this year was Collinsworth out of the same binder set that I had, and it got a 7. I guess a 9 also on this one, so we definitely missed on this Collinsworth rookie. I'm not sure what I missed, but it looked pretty clean to me. It looks like SGC is pretty big on centering, I noticed on a lot of these, but nothing I see right out the gate here that would make it not an 8 at least, but I'll have to look at it later. It looks pretty good for a 7. And like I said, I guess a 9, so that's one of only a few that I was off by more than 1 grade. In the same card, in that same set, I mean, I have probably 10 or 15 of this card. Most of them are graded. Again, it looked pretty clean to me, and I guess 7 to 8, and that's right where we landed. 7 to 8, 7.5 on the LT, original LT Lawrence Taylor, 82 Tops, number 434, All-Pro rookie. Pretty solid card. I got this in just about every grade except 10 probably. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I will upload that to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. I haven't been putting a lot of content videos out there, but try to do these reveals and stuff. I just don't have anything else graded out there for that to happen. But alright, I will put this up. Thank you guys.